Nick Jr. seems to be having bad track of recording green light shows that would be deemed to be one of the most disturbing for kids. The only time when the show actually pushed its limits was Happy Happy, but that was thankfully canceled right away and never was seen again. According to the current children who saw Noggin back in 2004, the new show was planned to be released as a lifespan of Nick Jr. near Noggin preschool block, and the show was called Mr. Telegram, an additional traditional animation style with the cartoon and characters anchor named Telegrammer, and he would often read fan mail sent by him, or he would talk about the Noggin news, often playing a make-believe game show called Telly's Telegram Awesome Uppins. The show game show trivia game where you have to answer and vote the select question of the Noggin episodes that were still airing on Noggin. It released 3 seasons, but the show was getting more and more sinister by the 7th episode of 2nd season. Telly reveals that his game was just about brainwashing, communism, and even showed footage of secret and scary events that happened to turn heads down for the adults of kids. The show actually had been canceled, the movie called Telly's Big Movie, but the plot was when Nick Jr. and Noggin decided to cut off the show because it was going to take off in the deep end. The movie and show was quickly removed due to the brutality and extreme topics that the show talked about. The last episode faded with a mint green title card saying Telly's Christmas, and it started with Telly greeting everyone before driving into the news. Our top story, demonic cultists and are doing this to people, and he was then cut off when it showed a montage of things that literally was not meant for kids. For example, it could be a brutally training camp where there was people being shot and stuff. It also cut back to Mr. Tilly, who also reported that Candle Cove was repeatedly being revived. But it showed a trailer of Channel Zero, Candle Cove, before the footage glitched out, and it showed a very mad Mr. Tilly who starts shouting at someone saying, "If you don't come back over here, I'll pull out my Tommy gun and kill you." He then turned around before calming down, introducing the Moose and Z onto the stage. They greeted Mr. Telly with the Moose saying, "Hello, Mr. Telly Gee. It's so great to be on the show." Moose then said with a smile. Z gave a nod in response to Moose's compliment. "Oh, and Merry Christmas to Noggin as well," Mr. Telly said with a smile as well. "A Merry Christmas as well," Moose said cheerfully. They started taking their wit talking about something else, but it wasn't right. Every time the Moose spoke, Mr. Telly's smile would slowly fade into an annoyed straight face, and then he went down to the most evil and maddened smile. Suddenly he shouted, "You know what? You don't always have to cut people off when you happen to be a piece of trash of your horns." Moose was taken back by that before he tried saying something, but then Mr. Telly got his face red. He pointed outside of the studio and strictly said, "Get out!" Moose and Z were seen walking out of the studio, which that's how the episode ended. Moose and Z walked back into view, with Moose mumbling, "Geesh, that guy needs to take a chill pill." Anyway, Ubi is up. Suddenly, Mr. Telly ran up to the studio and started beating up Moose and Z. The screen immediately snapped back to black and slowly faded with a purple Noggin logo with white text in front saying, "We're sorry about that, what your kids have seen. We'll be back after the situation is done." It then suddenly cut off to the show Moose saying, "We unfortunately have some news that Mr. Telly has been cancelled due to unacceptable violence upon has been done and shown to kids at home, but Ubi is coming up next on Noggin." The director, J.J. Snipes, was arrested later on September 23rd, 2004, the day Mr. Telly was cancelled and replaced with Ubi. He was then sent to 60 years in prison and died on August 20th, 2010, after the security guard used so much pepper spray in his eyes, causing an allergic reaction to the pepper spray and killing the man. I mean, the show isn't coming back, right? And that, my little pretties, was Mr. Telegram, the Lost Nick and Junior / Noggin Show. A creepypasta written by SeceretStreetFighter. SeceretStreetFighter, I want to thank you so much for writing me this story. Thank you for sending this to me. This was definitely appreciated. I definitely have to say, I really do enjoy the story. You did a really good job with this. So, with that being said, I actually found this story to be rather interesting. It didn't go into cliche territory or anything like that, which That's a very good thing because, I don't get it why people use cliches nowadays. I could definitely say, this story is actually very believable in regards to that. Despite the fact that, I've read this story just now, I have to say, Secret Street Fighter, this story was obviously one of the best ones that you've done so far. Yeah, I know there's other ones that you've done that I personally liked, and I think there was one or two of them that I didn't really like, but I'm definitely going to say rest right now that you actually did a pretty good job with the story, and I definitely have to say, this story was flat out awesome. Just flat out awesome, just saying that right now. It was completely amazing. Definitely have to say that I really do like how the story went out. Like, despite the fact that there were maybe one or two flaws with the story, this story was actually really good and well made. In regards to that, this story actually flows out well, and it was actually pretty interesting when it came to that. So I'm definitely going to say, I'm definitely very impressed with the whole story, and even how it went out. Sure, might have been maybe a few grammatical errors, and I think a few punctuation errors in the story, but other than that, the story was actually really well made and detailed. I really love how this was all explained. It was a very interesting concept with the story when it came to that. So I definitely have to say right now that this story was awesome. Completely awesome and well made. Now I could definitely say that the paragraph structure was good, along with the grammar and the sentence structuring, despite the fact that there were maybe a few punctuation errors in the story, but most of it was pretty good. So I'm definitely gonna have to say, this is just a little advice if you're gonna post any of this story on Wiki, put it through Google Docs and make sure you do a double check on the grammar and stuff, just to make sure the punctuations are in the correct places and that before you post it, just so then that way some people in the future, probably you guys, if you guys want to become creepypasta narrators, like myself, Shadow Reader, and many others, best thing you could do is, if you do that, give proper criticism to people and stuff, then you will also be really good. To the people that write stories, I'm going to say this right now, is to be sure you check your work before you post it or send it to me or anyone else, just to make sure that you think that the story is actually really good with the grammar and stuff before you post it. That just a little advice for you guys if you're writing a creepypasta meant for me or Shadow. Just follow, give it a little pointers up just so then that you guys get the whole idea. I guess that's kind of what I wanted to say. Just a little advice for anyone who is writing these kind of pastas. I definitely have to say it's actually believable, and that's definitely something. Now, I have not watched Nick Jr. or Noggin in a long time. I think the last time I watched it was maybe I guess it might have been, I don't know, 2008, 2009, I think. I think it was around then, but I could be wrong. I don't know because I haven't watched the show in a really long time. It's a really, really, really awesome show. You did a good job, Secret Street Fighter. So, I definitely have to say, I really do enjoy how this story went out. It was a really good story, and I definitely really enjoy and appreciate the good grammar. The good grammar in the story is one of the most important things. So, I definitely have to say this is actually pretty believable, pretty amazing, and definitely have to say that I really do like how everything went out. It's just flat out good. That's just a thing I could definitely say. It's just a very flat out good story. So I'm definitely have to say that I really do like how, this is awesome and how it was all made. So I could definitely say right now that this story was flat out awesome. I really do appreciate this story was pretty good. So I could definitely say this right now, guys, that I really do like this one. So, okay. I guess I kind of, explained some other stuff. So, yeah. I'm just gonna, wrap up the review because, this one's just as long as it is. So, I am going to say this right now, and like I always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too, because we're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be a 10 out of 10. It's a great story, great creepypasta, great concept. I definitely have to say this right now that I really do like how this story went out. It was flat out amazing, really well made in detail, and I can definitely say this right now that I really do like the fact that how this story was properly explained. It didn't go, all over the place or anything like that. It just, kept it at the same, thing that, what's going on. It definitely had a good explanation and played a really good part in the story. So I definitely have to say Secret Street Fighter. This story was awesome. I definitely have to say. Hopefully you make more of these stories someday because I would really like to see more of your other work in the future. So keep on writing. All right. What did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done person to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I'll be catching you all in the next video. So thank you so much for coming. So with that being said, peace out everyone. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm